Welcome back, everybody, to The Horror Returns. I'm Lance, and with me, as always, we got Brian and Philip. And in the house tonight, it's our man Pedro. What's going on, dude?
Oh man, right here in LA, I don't want to say I'm freezing because it's gonna make me sound like a pussy. Because over here,
Brian.
it's maybe like 50 degrees right now, so I'm cool, but it's a little cold.
I would love
All
50
right.
degrees right now.
Yeah,
I bet you
that's
would.
why I'm not saying nothing. I'm cool. I'm chilling. Even though I'm cold.
It was in the 40s today in Galveston. I was freezing my nuts off.
I would love 40 degrees right now.
It was 80. It was 80 here today, guys, in Melbourne, Florida. 80.
There you go.
That's why people go to Florida to die, man, because the weather's always nice.
That's true.
That's right. I was going to make a joke about to live and die in LA, but you beat me to the Florida, man. Y'all remember that movie? That was one of the first ones where the good guy died halfway through the movie. Remember that shit?
I want to say is that Steve Soderbergh? I think it is.
It makes sense. It was like an 80s movie though, right? Has he been around that long?
Yeah, he's been around for a while.
All right. I just remember seeing it at the theater, and I was like, halfway through the movie, the main like detective that was trying to solve the crime gets blown away, and I'm like, what the fuck? Never seen that in an American movie before, but you know.
Yeah.
All right. So here we are, The Horror Returns. Pedro, welcome back. What you got going on, man? How's life in LA? We were messaging a little bit when the fire was going on, but you could smell smoke, but you never got close to the fire,
no,
right?
But it's still pretty dangerous. I mean, the fact that I could inhale that shit was not healthy. So yeah. I mean, I was lucky enough to be, maybe, I don't know, 5 miles away from it. I could see everything, but it never came to my apartment complex, thank God. But I mean, now they're talking about what kind of health ramifications are we going to be seeing later on, because so many people were inhaling all that stuff for a long time, including myself. And yeah, man, I mean, we're just trying to rebound. The fires were hard. I mean, a lot of people lost their homes, and it wasn't all rich people either. We have the Pacific Palisades, which is that's a very, very rich part of town. But I mean, we also had Altadena, which is kind of like middle class, even lower class. So a lot of people lost their homes, and it's just, it was also nice to see the city come together. Like, that was weird to me to see that. Like, everybody just came together to house these people, provide them with food, supplies, etc. So yeah, so we're just kind of getting through that. And then we've been dealing with the storm. We got hit with a storm that's gonna last about 3 days straight. So there's that. But at the same time, I try to stay in gratitude, and it's like one of the reasons why I wanted to come on this show today, for a couple of reasons. First of all, I wanted to talk Companion, which is probably I feel like that movie's gonna stay in my top 10 for the rest of the year.
Please don't spoil too much, dude. I didn't make it out this week.
Okay, I won't.
I actually did see it though. That's my cool of the week. So we'll talk about that.
I got to see it too.
You fucking assholes. All right, I'm the only guy then. Okay.
And then also just and I think me and you were texting, Lance, and we're on a streak. I think ever since The Wolfman, every week there's been a big theatrical horror movie coming out. Even we were joking how we get to use our AMC card. You had The Wolfman.
Finally.
You had Presence. You had Companion, Hard Eyes. Then we have The Monkey next week. So it's been, we took a little break this week because Captain America is probably gonna, clean house at the box office. But
sure.
But even that's a genre film, so I'm excited for that too. I'm actually gonna go see it after this show. So,
I got my tickets for tomorrow.
Okay, cool. And so I was just excited. That's why I wanted to come on here, because I mean, I've watched them all, and they've all been pretty good. I mean, I know you guys didn't really like The Wolfman, or maybe you guys were mixed on it. Now, Lance, I have a bone to pick.
I liked it.
I think Brian Called it The Wolf. Meh. No. Yeah. Didn't you, Brian?
No, I don't think I said that.
Okay. All right. What's your beef? What's your beef?
Well, speaking of what you just did right now with Brian, so I texted Lance, right, and I'm like, you know what? I thought The Wolfman was an 8 on 10, and he's like, oh, that's cool. We're talking, right. And then I go, what do you think of Presence? Is it Presence, the Steven Soderbergh one with the ghost?
Yeah, the ghost story.
No, that's all I said. What do you think of Presence? And somehow when I'm listening to the show, he said that I gave it an 8 on 10. Lance, I was talking about the Wolfman. I was not talking.
I thought you were talking about presents, man.
And you all don't know the frustration. You guys cannot even begin to understand the frustration when my own word, right? Because our rating is our word. It's our bond.
That's right.
It's being prostituted like that, and it's like it's for the wrong movie. I felt so helpless. Like I'm like, because he said it a couple of times. Like Pedro gave it an 8 on 10. I'm like, that's the wrong fucking movie.
You're here now to defend yourself.
Yeah, I know. I think I gave it an 8 partially because of your rating.
Yeah, I will say that. I will say this. I thought Presents. I did give it a high rating. I think I give it a 7.5, which is what you gave it, Philip. So we're on the same page. So I guess I go into my cool of the week. I'll transfer into that because it really is what it is. All these watching all these films. So I'll start with the Wolfman now, and I'll go really fast. The Wolfman is not a deal. It's not a hill I'm gonna die on. I completely understand why people hated that movie. Because it didn't really have a Wolfman. Let's be real about it. There was nothing with the moon or silver bullets. Like everything that has to do with the Wolfman, right? The criteria of the Wolfman wasn't met.
That's true. He kind of changed every night, huh? Or
exactly.
Kind of didn't change back.
This was more of a disease, right? Mm-hmm. I did like that Lee Whannell tried something different as far as like showing us that transformation piece, because we've never really seen that. We've never really seen what a human being goes through as they're transforming, and they're what makes them a human being is leaving them, right? And it's being replaced by something more primal. So I like that. I didn't think he did it I didn't think he hit the landing as the way he showed us that, but I did like that. And so I feel like if it would have been named something else other than the Wolfman, people would have liked it a little more.
Probably.
But even with that said,
maybe,
some of the characters were very paper thin too. So there was that. And then there's Presence. All right. Again, not a hill I'm gonna die on. I really enjoyed it. I like the family dysfunction. Because usually what we see in these horror movies, even like when real like psychologists try to study like the haunted house or poltergeist phenomena, what they find is that it's actually the family dynamics that are like in disarray, right? And that they kind of project that into the house, and then they start seeing shit. So I like that.
You'd have a better read on that than we would because of what you do for a living. So that makes sense.
Yes,
I mean, that makes sense though.
Yeah, so usually there's a lot of family dysfunction, and then it projects itself as like a poltergeist or a haunting. And I thought this film tried to show that, which I really appreciated. I really like what ends up being the villain of the movie, which is the kid, right, the young kid. Because I thought his turn was pretty it was awesome, and just the way that he turns like that, and the way that he kills these young ladies. Because essentially what it is that he's a serial killer. Like they never tell you that. But he's a serial killer, and he has this very unique thing that I've never seen, where he doesn't asphyxiate these women, right? He doesn't actually do the whole thing where he wraps around. He fucks with them. He drugs them to where they're awake enough, but not so much to where they could fight back. And then he does that thing with the plastic where eventually they just die because they can't breathe, right?
Yeah.
I thought that was very creepy and very disturbing.
Yeah.
The only thing I didn't like was that it was essentially a big setup for like the last 20 seconds of the movie. Like the entire movie is one big setup for just the last 20 seconds. And I was like, that felt kind of gypped off right there. But it's a short movie, 70 minutes, harmless watch. So I liked it. And then we're going to talk about Companion a little bit. I guess I'll join the conversation when you guys bring it up. And then we're going to talk about Hard Ice, which is what we're here for. So yeah, just
all right,
man.
Good start to the year then.
Yeah, for sure. Which is different from other years, right? When we're dealing with like Night Swim and all that shit.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's my cool of the week right there. Just enjoying these great movies.
Nice.
All right. Well, I'll jump in with my cool of the week, which is Companion. I also did watch. You guys ever seen The Voices? I think it's called The Voices. It's got Ryan Reynolds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Anna Kendrick.
With the heads in the refrigerator.
I watched that for the first time. Didn't even know that movie existed. And it's not bad. It's an interesting little watch. It's like kind of before they were famous almost. But then and then I checked out Companion and had a really good time with that one. I like what they were saying. I was torn on, who to root for, until about halfway through the movie. And then but still just the questions of AI and robots and stuff kind of lingers, and I like that. That was a lot of fun. Oh, and I also watched another one called Coherence.
Coherence.
And, yeah. It's this group of people who they're like having a little party. It's just a friend get together while there's some sort of meteor going over, like some sort of historic meteor. And
okay. All
and
right.
like
I have seen this one.
The power goes out and they get stuck in some weird multiverse or time loop or something. And it's one of those trippy kind of films, and that was a lot of fun. I had a good time with that one.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not the production quality is not the best, but it's got a good story.
That's the one where they like walk down to the neighbor's house and they look in the window and it's actually their house and they're looking at themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a trip.
Yeah, that little motif was in for a while, right? Like maybe like 10 years ago, because you had Triangle, that movie Triangle.
Triangle.
That was a fun movie too. I love that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's that movie Time Crimes as well, that Spanish movie.
Oh yeah.
You see that over and over but they're always a fun time, like you said. I mean, they're always, because like you start wondering what started this loop, and then they're seeing themselves, and it's like,
I love those movies. I don't think there's enough of them.
Right.
We need more.
What
you got, Brian?
That's it. That's what I got.
I also saw Companion because Lance made it seem like we were all going to talk about it this week. I also loved it. I thought the cast did a phenomenal job. I'm starting to, when I see Sophie Thatcher and Jack Quaid, when I see them in a movie or in a cast, I'm already going to know I'm going to get good performances out of them.
Yeah.
I don't think the trailer really ruined much for me because you get the reveal pretty early in the movie.
Yeah.
And I agree with you, Pedro. I think this might be firmly in my top 10 for the rest of the year.
Holy shit.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say, like, kind of like what Brian's saying, like, if whatever you saw in the trailer, because a lot of people were complaining that the trailer gives a lot away, and it would have been cool to see that first reveal without getting spoiled by a trailer. But there's more. There's more. Mm-hmm. There was one reveal in particular that I'm not gonna say here later on that kind of like I was like, what the fuck? I was not expecting that. And also, I don't think this is a spoiler. You know what? I'm not gonna say because I don't want to fuck with Lance. But
that's all right. Go ahead, man.
Well, I felt like there was a pretty cool homage to like the Terminator 2 for some reason. Did you guys remember that?
Yeah.
And that's all I'll say. And it was awesome.
Oh,
I love that.
They lowered somebody into some lava, huh?
Well, but no, it's a great movie. To me, it's a 9 on 10. I can't justify a 10 because I have to see it again. But it was damn near perfect. It was a very clever script, the way you keep revealing things. It was a good movie, really good movie.
Early year surprise.
But just to have something different on Cool of the Week, I watched the final episodes of Cobra Kai right before we started recording.
Oh, those are on now. Okay.
Yeah.
So did it hit the landing, Brian? Did it hit the landing, you think?
There was some things that I thought were going to happen at the end I'm not trying to spoil anything, but I thought they could have set up the upcoming Karate Kid movie a little bit better.
Gotcha. Because we know it's coming.
Wrapped up all the stories and kind of hit me in the feels a couple places during the finale, but there was a couple things. I'm not going to say it missed the landing, but it could have did a little bit better job of setting up other things that they're planning on.
So is the new Karate Kid movie going to have characters from Cobra Kai in it?
Just Ralph Macchio.
Oh, okay. That's it?
And, well, Jackie Chan from the reboot.
Okay.
And the new basically a new student.
Okay.
So totally different story then.
Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, that's pretty much all I got as companion in Cobra Kai.
So Brian, did the next Karate Kid show up?
Can't say.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
All right. Well, we'll leave it at that. All right, I'm going to take us off the rails, guys. Brian, I just saw my favorite musical of 2024.
You watch Wicked again?
And 2024 was a very musical year, right? Because you got fucking Wicked. You got a lot of musicals, right? That came out in 2024, and they were like singing from start to finish, like no break, like just bombarding you with song after song after song. You guys heard of this British pop singer named Robbie Williams? Does that name ring a bell?
Yes.
No.
Okay. So there's a movie called Better Man, and I'm looking at the cover of the movie, and I'm like, it's a fucking monkey on a Rolling Stone cover, and I'm like, what the fuck is this shit?
I think I know what movie you're talking about.
Dude, I've never seen this before. It's a biopic film of a pop singer named Robbie Williams, who is a huge British pop singer, and it's basically his life story, but he's played the entire movie filled by a CGI monkey.
Yeah, I've seen the previews to that.
I thought this was going to be the biggest piece of shit ever, but it was perfect. Brian, it was the perfect musical, man. Because you were a good 10, 15 minutes into the movie before the first musical act broke out, and I'm like, I see where we're going here now. Now I get it. But they rope-a-doped you. They lured you in. They're like, okay, I want to know what the fuck's going on. Why is this guy being played by a fucking CGI monkey? And what's the story? So it's actually the true story of this pop singer, like from start to finish. He goes through some ups, he goes through some downs. There's lots of cocaine usage, lots of alcohol drinking, lots of having sex with different Spice Girls and shit like that. But it's all, I don't know, it just works, man. As a monkey. It just works. Somehow it fucking works. All these musicals that came out, and like you guys said, or y'all know I love musicals, but I fucking hated Wicked. I hated Joker too. They were just like so over the top. Like the minute they opened, they broke out into singing. And this was like just the right amount of musical numbers. And there was one number in particular that was in the streets of London, and like they were going dancing through Piccadilly Circus when he was in his boy band and shit like that. It was just like super surreal. And I don't know. For me, it works. So my cool of the week is Better Man.
Question.
My favorite musical from 2024, a year of musicals. So there you go.
Can you hear me?
And on that note,
Brian's got a question.
Can you hear me, or can Lance hear me?
I don't think Lance
can hear you.
Oh, okay.
Okay, you say things, or you don't like things that are over the top, but a CGI singing monkey.
That's what I'm saying, dude. It should not have worked, right? There's no way this should have worked.
If they'd have had a fire in it, then it would be a thumbs down.
What if the fire was singing musicals?
Well, now that's a horse of another color.
Very possibly, Brian. Very possibly. But I don't know, man. It just, for me, it worked. It just hit the right notes. So,
you were in the right
Pedro,
mood.
do you like musicals? Any musicals at all? Like old Hollywood stuff or any of the newer stuff? Or are you totally out?
No, I'm out. I can't stand musicals.
I'm dying on this hill alone. So that being said, Brian, do we have any horror headlines this week?
Yes, we do. More casting news for Dexter Resurrection. Peter Dinklage joins the cast.
Okay.
Are you just laughing because he's a little person?
Yes. I'm just trying to figure out how he's going to fit into the Dexter timeline.
Well, it happens after.
They're just overdoing. They're over Dextering us, man. What
Wait
the
a minute.
fuck is this?
Yes, what do you mean by that? Like, what do you mean how he's gonna fit into the Dexter timeline? He's a human being.
I don't know, dude. Honestly, man,
I don't understand your question. Like your question.
They got wait. Okay, I'm having Dexter overload, Pedro. So
There's
we got
two
the original
shows.
series, which was good for the first half, and then the last 2 seasons fucking sucked.
I think
And
what
they
you're
should have
asking,
just cut it off with the John.
What you're asking, okay, Lance?
Okay.
In
my opinion,
I think he has to play a mad scientist.
I think what you're asking is you don't know where they're gonna put a little person into the script of Dexter.
That might be what.
That's
yeah,
what I was.
That's
what I was
That
getting.
might be what I'm trying to ask. Yeah.
He's gonna be the mad scientist that gives them the little blood vials where he could collect his little samples. You know.
I'm telling you, Dick
Now it all
works
makes
as a mad scientist.
Now it all makes sense. All right, thanks for explaining it for me. Thank you for Pedro explaining it.
He's got that big ass head, the wild crazy hair, like it's perfect.
Let's see. We also got some potential casting news for the Crystal Lake A24 Peacock series. Linda Cardellini. Lance is shaking his head.
No, I'm curious. Again, where the fuck is this gonna fit into the Jason timeline?
What do you mean?
Just because she's a little person, Lance?
Is she a little person?
Probably not. I mean, it's possible.
She's Hawkeye's wife. That's
Hey. Okay. All right. I'm just shaking my head over the whole Crystal Lake TV series concept. And then you say A24 and Peacock in the same sentence. I'm like, mind blown. But, hey, 21st century, man. Why not?
Peacock. Oh, no, those aren't the motherfuckers that started it. It was CBS.
Yeah, CBS.
Oh, wait. You just reminded me of some news.
Uh-oh.
Peacock cancels another series. Cancel Hysteria. The Satanic Panic series.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. With Bruce Campbell, right?
Yeah, canceled.
Well, I never watched it.
Yeah.
The people I know that did watch it said it was really good.
Yeah. Yeah, it had some love. I'm surprised they didn't let it keep going, but I guess it didn't have the ratings.
Sometimes you gotta let those shows marinate.
Yeah.
Netflix would push a show in like 4 or 5 seasons before it started finding an audience. Then they went the opposite way. Now they cancel everything.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Taylor Lautner is. You guys might know him best from Twilight as the werewolf. Well, he's going to be a werewolf hunter.
Okay.
In a series directed by Radio Silence.
Okay. I mean,
the year of the werewolf, Pedro.
That guy's looking for that payday. I'll tell you that much. I don't think he's done anything of relevance since Twilight.
I don't think so either.
I was gonna say this sounded like maybe he would like specifically search them out for a movie and said, "Listen, we're gonna flip it on its head. I'm gonna play a werewolf hunter."
Have you guys seen him lately?
No.
He's not all muscled up anymore.
Not all jacked. Well, listen, you can't stay on steroids that long.
Yeah.
Let's see. Sosie Bacon is set to star in an R-rated haunted doll horror comedy called Brett.
Brett?
Hey.
Brett.
She was great in Smile, right?
What has she done since then?
I don't know.
I'm trying to think. Not much.
She needs to be in the Tremors TV series that they've been teasing.
But she's got that bacon money, so she doesn't really have to do much,
True.
Yeah.
Bringing in the bacon.
And then another doll. Like, we're gonna get overloaded with these doll movies, guys.
That's a lot of dolls and a lot of AI, right, Pedro?
This Megan
Sex
being a bitch has produced all these clones, and now we're stuck.
What do y'all think this new Megan movie's gonna do?
I don't know.
I'm gonna predict from the possible synopsis that I read about it, Lance is gonna fucking hate this movie.
Oh no!
Well, He's gonna hate it anyway.
I like the first one. I like the
You're
first
gonna
That's true.
you're gonna say this movie's too over the top.
one. CGI monkeys or what?
No
Don't do it.
musicals.
Okay.
Let's see. Wolf Creek Legacy set to hit theaters in 2026.
Theaters, you say? They're gonna give it a.
Yes.
That's weird. They never give those movies theatricals anymore.
This
Yeah, I
is
was gonna
backed
say
by
nothing about that description that you read. Like it went straight in one ear and out the other. I didn't catch any of it.
yeah, this is through the studio Cineverse that did Terrifier
Okay.
and is putting the
Oh.
new
Hey.
Toxic Avenger movie in the theater this year.
All right. Well, maybe they'll do something then.
Yeah, with Lance Boy, Peter Dinklage playing the Toxic Avenger.
That's right.
I know.
They might be onto something.
How does he
Know
fit in
what
that
timeline that was
timeline
in.
though?
It's the little timeline.
Oh,
I'm not really seeing any really big news. We got casting news for the Apple TV
Big,
Cape Fear
little.
series.
No? All right, I'll shut up.
little news, big news, what?
Amy Adams and Javier Bardem are going to be in the Cape Fear
What?
series on Apple TV.
What the fuck?
Man, they're plunking down some
Did we-
big money, man. These
Yeah,
guys
I know.
will come cheap.
No shit. Did they need another Cape Fear? I mean, seriously? What does this be, like the third or fourth one, Pedro?
But like a
I think so.
series is where is what throws me off. I'm like, how? Like you're gonna work this through a whole
I don't
series?
know,
That's
man.
gonna get
Yeah,
old.
what are you gonna say that you haven't said in those two movies? I mean,
Yeah.
obviously it's gonna take 8 episodes.
Yeah.
Unless you do
Is
a
he gonna-
complete reimagining.
Theater longer.
Is he
you
gonna
know?
sing "I Think We're Alone Now"? Ay, ay, ay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it'll be a total reimagining, but like it just seems like a.
Yeah.
I mean, they're gonna have to have more than just that shtick.
I would
it's-
hope so.
Yeah, you're gonna get to
That's-
that turn by episode 2, and then the rest of
I
it's
know
just
you're gonna really have to drag that out, right?
Yeah,
Is he gonna show him in
chasing
prison
each
for,
other
like,
around.
3 episodes?
I think that is all for the news. I'm not seeing any big news here.
All right.
By
More
the
little
way,
news,
I'm gonna
Pedro.
say something I'm gonna say something right now, and it's gonna be very inside, but I don't care.
Okay.
And this is all I'm gonna say, okay? I really, really, really enjoyed last week's show. I thought it was like the entertainment that I
Okay.
liked, and it was awesome. I
Okay.
really liked it. So
Thank you, man. That's
No, it was
why
good.
that's why
It
we
was all, like it really was like, you know, there's thousands, there's maybe even millions of podcasts, right? So you have to like
sure.
sometimes we don't have the resources to compete with those podcasts. So what we do is we use what we have. And,
Yeah.
and that form of entertainment can be bought. I had a good time. I had a really good time.
You know
Thank
what?
you.
I had a pretty good time too.
Yeah, like it was like I was
Okay.
laughing. It was a good time, you know, and you know, we'll leave it at that.
Very nice. Very nice. All right. Well, that being said, Pedro, are you ready to go on down to the trailer park?
Yep, let's go.
All right. Brian is going to bring us the big, the small, and sometimes the very, very weird. What's our first new trailer this week, Brian?
Our first and only trailer is Borderline, a new psychological horror comedy written and directed by Jimmy Warden and starring Samara Weaving and Ray Nicholson, Jack Nicholson's son.
I like the cast.
Pedro, what'd you think?
I didn't get to watch it because I was stuck in traffic.
Okay.
Oh,
That's
that's when
Uh,
you're supposed to watch it, dude, when you're sitting in traffic.
Phil, what'd you think?
I'm cautiously optimistic. Like, cast is awesome. I'm kind of loving
Yeah.
what Ray Nicholson is putting out there.
Okay.
But the way that this trailer is cut up could be totally different than what the movie is. It's a
True.
great trailer,
Okay.
but it's obviously by somebody who knows what they're doing when it comes to putting the trailers together. You know what I mean? So it might not
Sure.
fit the mood of the movie, but maybe it does. I think it looks really good. I'm excited about it.
Lance?
I was so disappointed with Samara Weaving's most recent performance last year.
You were
Pedro,
disappointed
you
in her
liked that movie,
performance or
right?
the
I didn't
movie?
hate that
Azrael,
one.
or
She just didn't have a lot of lines.
yeah, but it was more than just not having the lines. I don't know. I didn't love the movie.
Yeah.
Can you not
What
hear
did
me,
you guys
Lance?
think? Yeah. What did you think,
I
Brian?
feel like I'm asking you questions and you're not answering any of them.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Let me get everything set up here a little better. Turn up my
Okay,
volume.
that should
All
work.
right.
Adjust those headphones a little bit.
Yes, I can hear you now.
You hated her performance or you hated the movie?
I didn't hate the movie. I just was nonplussed by it. How about that? I wasn't super. I thought it was gonna be amazing, right? I thought it was gonna be super awesome, and I was kind of like,
Well, you said you were disappointed
man.
by her.
Yeah, see, I went in expecting.
You know what?
like,
I kind of
nothing.
I kind of was. Yeah, I kind of was disappointed by her. I wanted to get that crazy Samara Weaving, and I think we're gonna get that in this one.
What if we don't? She's not going to be
Then
the
I'll
show
then I'll
favorite no
then I'll
more?
be disappointed. No, I'll be
gonna-
disappointed, but she'll
Please
still be on the.
He's
She'll
gonna have
still-
a one man
she'll still be
boycott
on the
outside
hot
of
pass
Samara
list.
Weaving's office.
Well, I enjoyed the trailer. I think it's going to be a nice psychological horror comedy. I like the cast. I like Ray Jack. What is it? Ray Nicholson. I was going to say Jack
Ray
Nicholson.
Nicholson,
He
yeah.
looks so much like his dad.
Yeah, but like
Um,
when I first heard his voice and the trailer
Mhm.
started, I almost thought it was Jack Black for a second.
Jack Black.
Yeah,
I
Not
can
what
see
it sounded
that.
like.
Okay.
So I don't know, but it was a pleasant surprise. I was like, oh, that's the Nicholson kid.
Yeah, I think he's going to do a great job in it. He has a great crazy face.
Yeah,
like
Yeah,
that.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely did that in Smile too, right?
And it looks like we're going to get some other players in here other than him being the crazy one. So,
Yeah.
The only
looking
thing
forward
that's
to it.
concerning is that it's by the same guys that did Cocaine Bear, which wasn't really. I don't think it was a good movie. So
Wasn't a
it
huge
was
hit.
it
Yeah.
was written by the same people that wrote Cocaine Bear, and then it was like produced
Okay.
by somebody else. Like
Yeah,
I feel like
I
the
know.
credits that they threw out there were not necessarily flattering.
I
This
know.
is
An
produced
indication
by,
of what we're gonna get.
It's produced by Margot Robbie's company, which is funny because her and Samara
Oh,
Weaving are always
that's
constantly
right.
compared to each other.
Interesting.
Sure. Yeah. So is Harley Quinn gonna show up then?
I don't think so. I think she's done playing Harley Quinn.
yeah, I think this is we're gonna get
That's
a new
a shame.
characters.
Okay.
All
I
right,
I hope it's good. I hope it's as good as the trailer is, because the trailer's great.
Yeah,
Well,
trailer's really great. I agree.
We'll find out soon, March 14th.
Okay.
That's
can dig
it.
it.
That's all the
Oh, I still
trailers.
have something to talk about. I completely forgot
Oh
about
shit.
the fucking.
Okay.
I want to bring to the table, because I'm just a guest on this show, the idea for this year's March Madness, right?
Oh, we're getting close. We better hurry up and figure that shit out, dude. It's halfway
right.
through February, man.
So here's what I propose. So you get many years ago, it might have been the first one, because I've been at all of these and I wasn't in this one, so it had to be the first one. You guys did best horror villain for that year's tournament, and somehow Darth Vader won, which is a travesty of gesture.
Oh, trust me, we heard from a few people.
Yeah, that was my nomination, by the way, so you can blame me for that.
Yes. So we're gonna go. That's the past. We could just look to the future. That's what we're focused on. So we're gonna run that back, but except we're gonna call it the best horror icon, because all these fucking characters eventually become icons. So this year's gonna be a little different. We're gonna have judges like we do every year, except they're not gonna be able to give us horror icons, because they'll run out. There's only a few of them. You know, I'm gonna try to scrunch up at least 24 to 32, which is gonna be hard, but I think I could do it.
You got Jason, you got Candyman, you got Freddy. Okay.
And there is going to be some criteria. There's going to be they have to be a horror icon. None of this sci-fi shit. It has to have horror elements. So we're not gonna have the T-800 in the so we are gonna have the
Luke Skywalker, huh?
Yeah. No, Darth Vader, you mean?
Listen,
yeah.
Terminator. The first Terminator is a horror movie.
Yeah, but it's not considered a horror movie though by
I
the
guess
community
so.
and their weird ass rules. So yeah, so it's gonna be very much established as a horror icon. Okay, so Godzilla's not a horror icon. You know, Darth Vader's not a horror icon.
Godzilla? I disagree.
Nah, bro, it's a kaiju. That's what it is.
I bet he was terrifying to those little Japanese people underneath his feet.
That's right. But we'll never know because you know where they're at. So that's what I propose. The judges our judges are gonna obviously get to vote, right? We're gonna do the brackets like we do every year. And then this year's gonna be a little different too, because since we're gonna know the participants very early, I'm gonna be able to make polls on the Horror Returns Facebook page, and they're also gonna have a vote. So for example, if it's Freddy versus Leatherface, maybe like 3 weeks before we record the show, I'll put the poll up, and if Freddy wins, then that's one vote for Freddy already going into the show. So because we're gonna have the results, right?
Oh wow. Okay, yeah. That sounds complicated, but if you can you and Brian work it out? Because I'm out.
It's essentially just gonna.
I can't figure this shit out.
The audience are gonna have one vote. That's really what it comes down to, because they're all gonna vote on their polls, on the polls that we put up, and then once we get there on the matchup where we're recording, the winner of the polls are already gonna have one vote, and then the judges are gonna decide the actual winner, right?
So what's the criteria on the horror icon part like?
Oh, it has to have at least, they have to have at least 2 sequels. So part 1, 2, and 3.
But then like who went, like if you go Freddy versus Jason, which I'm sure is going to be the final bout.
Never say never, dude.
Well, what about
what do you go body count?
whatever the judge's discretion, whatever they want to push. Maybe the quality of the movie. Maybe how iconic the kills, how they kill, whatever they want. And one cool thing about this tournament is that because they have so many movies, it's going to keep the conversation fresh. Because usually what happens with these tournaments, like for example, best kill, right? Which we've had best kill. Whoever advocates for that kill, they're constantly talking about the same kill. So by the third round, they're completely out of gas.
Okay.
They're like, I vote for the shower scene for the reasons I said in the previous rounds.
Right.
That always happens in our shows. Like they just, people run out of gas, understandably so, because what else are you gonna say about the shower scene, right? But with this tournament, Freddy, you could talk about part 1 on one round. You could talk about part 3 on the next round, and you could continuously advocate for them and bring up different scenes from different movies. So it should keep the conversation fresh going all the way through the tournament. So that's kind of what I proposed. I think it'll be fun. I've been part of the last like 6 of them. I mean, everything from like best grindhouse picture, best elevated horror movie we did one year, best kill. Yeah, man, we've done them all. We did the best worst movie tournament one year, where I think Birdemic won. Birdemic
won. All right, so how are we going to roll this out? Brian, you're usually our logistics guy. So how's this going to work?
Why you put so many hats on my head? What am I supposed to do now?
I'm out on this one. Pedro, can you just spearhead it, or how are we going to do this?
I'll spearhead it. I'll volunteer. We don't have to talk about the specifics now because we don't want to bore the audience. I'm just presenting the concept.
All right.
But I'll spearhead it. I'll create the tournament sheet.
Yeah, no, I like it.
I mean, Lance, you've already reached out to some people. Hopefully, some already accepted, and then on that day, it'll all make sense.
Okay.
And then you guys come up with the day too, because I'm not gonna book the date for everyone because that's weird. So.
Oh yeah, no problem.
Yeah, whatever. Someday in March, I guess, because we always do them in March.
The only other thing I know we have to do in March or April at least is Mad God, right, Brian? For Lars.
Well, I'm looking at the movie release schedule. March might be pretty open.
Okay, there you go. So what do y'all want to shoot for?
Little behind the scenes stuff.
Well, we'll talk about it after.
Later. We have a group
chat.
Okay.
Sure, somebody's like, get to the fucking movie reviews.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's all right,
we
because
gotta-
what I've started doing is putting those out separately on YouTube, in
Nice.
case you guys
Excellent.
want to go check them out.
That's a playlist.
All right.
Wonderful.
There you go.
So we got our March Madness pick. We're gonna figure out how we're getting the vote out, and on to the show.
All right. Actually, it's on to listener feedback. This week we shine the podcast spotlight on Alone in the Dark podcast monthly. Oh, well, that's probably not the bonus shows, but that's the link that I got. So lock
Yeah.
your doors, but tell
read
your
the first
friends.
part.
Sorry.
Alone in the Dark podcast. Lock your doors, but tell your friends to tune into this podcast party with Mike and Marty. Mike and Maddie, my bad. But it would have worked out better if your name was Marty. Sorry.
Marty McFly, right?
That never ends. We ruminate and reminisce about great horror films that have inspired us throughout our lives. The door's always open. Come on in. Just turn the lights off first. Ooh, that sounds sexy. All right,
Jesus
Alone in the Dark
Christ.
podcast. Check them out. Sometimes I like to be alone in the dark. All right, and we got Matt Wood who says listening back to the commentary we did, laughed out loud a fair few times. The amount of what the fucks was next level. Sorry again, guys. I punished myself. I punished you by watching Pink Flamingos. I'm now going to punish myself by watching The Final Destination. Not as bad as a punishment, but you get my drift. Yeah, I was super fucked up during that movie, man. That was.
I think you got up and left at one point.
I had to take a break because I needed a puke basket. It was not good. I don't know if that was the movie or the whiskey or just me. But it was fun. Definitely a once in a lifetime opportunity. Scott,
never again, Philip. Is that what you're saying?
probably not.
You're not
I'm glad I did it.
The Steelbook of
Yeah.
Pink Flamingos.
It's like jumping in the frozen water. You gotta do it once, but never again.
Okay.
Scott Crawford, freaking night swim. Just don't go in the effing pool. Well, easier said than done.
You guys are never gonna let me off the hook. Brian told me how to pass this year. We weren't gonna bring that movie up again.
Hey,
I didn't
but
say
yeah,
from our
you're
listeners.
just bringing it up, not us.
All right.
That's true. Can't make promises for everybody else. Let's see. In regards to the Nightbreed Horror Returns t-shirt, David Barta says, love the new design. Yes, we do too. Thank you, Steve Carlton. In regards to Adrian Barbeau, Nathan Watakrock. I don't think that's his real name.
Probably.
Says she's an awesome actress. That she is. In regards to Puppet Master 2, Mark Komarzinski says this is my favorite entry in the Puppet Master franchise, I think. And Torch is my favorite evil puppet. He just looks like he means business.
Yeah, I can see that.
All right.
I would go with 3, but that's just me. 3 takes place in Germany, like Nazi Germany, and it's like a time period movie. It's pretty good actually for the budget.
I can't ever separate those movies in my. I don't know how many of them there are.
Is that where they introduced the 6-shooter one?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it. Yeah.
All right. In regards to the monkey, Bort says, I guess says.
What?
I don't know. Bort. My name's not Bart, man. It's Bort. I'm so down for a good horror comedy. The monkey looks like it'll spank my expectations. That sounds like a Bort comment.
Yep. Punny, very punny.
In regards to The Shining, Kevin Kelly says the book is awesome, but I despise Kubrick for insulting and disrespecting Stephen King. So did Stephen King, apparently.
I was gonna say, is that Stephen King writing under someone else?
Yes, Kevin Kelly, we know your real identity. In regards to The Night Flyer, Mark Komarzinski says, cool film with a unique vampire design and equally unique concept. Plus the late, great Miguel Ferrer playing one of the most arrogant and aggressive dicks ever to be put to celluloid. I enjoy it. 2 thumbs up from me.
Hey, Dave Barta, that's one we haven't done.
That's a good point.
If he's listening.
Never seen it.
Dave, you better be listening, dude. We still need your picks, man.
All right. Well, that is listener feedback. Our intro and new logos come from Steve Carlton, as aforementioned above, from the Geeks. Be on the lookout for some more great stuff from him. And, of course, our original skull artwork comes from Natsulani, which is still as awesome as it was the day she made it. And if you'd like to help us out, please consider becoming a Patreon patron. We'll let you pick the movies for a future show at any amount, and for $5 or more a month, also pick a commentary for a future bonus show. And it will be awesome because you can come on and talk to us about it. Yeah. All right, on to our featured attractions. We get in the mood for love. That's weird. With the new Heart Eyes and
did you write this shit, Philip, or what?
I did not.
I'm in the mood for love.
React to it as I read it. And 2001's Valentine. A lot of guest appearances in that one that I didn't expect.
Right.
It was very 2001. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody was definitely training for Grey's Anatomy, right?
Oh yeah, exactly. I was like, wait a minute, I know that person.
Right.
All right. We'll start with Valentine from 2001. 5 women are stalked by an unknown assailant while preparing for Valentine's Day in a little cherub mask, because that's how they work. Director is Jamie Blanks, also known for Urban Legend. That makes sense.
Oh, okay.
Writers are Tom Savage, Donna Powers. Donna Powers, that's not a real name. And Wayne Powers. Oh, okay. All right.
Wayne's World.
At a cost of $10 million, this is the cheapest film to ever have a Super Bowl spot. This had a Super Bowl spot?
Oh, wow. Okay.
All right.
I'm gonna say a
insane.
10 or 15, 20-second one.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, that was 20 years ago.
They were
too.
that expensive back then either. You know, it was,
Yeah, I
they
don't
were
think
already
they were as
expensive, but not as
expensive
much
as
as
they
they
are
are today.
So $10 million of this film's
$10
budget went to a
million
fucking Super Bowl ad. All right.
Wow.
Pedro, what'd you think about Valentine?
Man, like I said, it was so 2001. Some of these cast members, I was like, oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Sure.
When I was a young man discovering my sexuality, you know what I'm saying? This movie.
Denise Richards? Yeah.
You know what? It was funny though, because she was very young at this point, but she already had like that very like stretched out face. Like she had like one expression throughout the entire movie, and that made it very.
Yeah, her expression is, I have boobs.
Yes. This movie was weird. First of all, the tropes are all very 80s slasher style, right? Very 80s. You have the beginning where they make fun of the kids. Sometimes it's a woman, sometimes it's a guy, and then the slasher comes back and kills whomever was in that crowd one by one. You know, watch, rinse, repeat. That was the whole 80s way of doing their slasher movies. But this movie, what it is that it was very mean. This is a very mean-spirited movie in a lot of ways. First of all, the script. It's a very misogynist movie. It treats all the none of the women are likable. And
that's a good point.
Like Black Christmas.
like they're fighting over like who's sleeping with who, and they're calling each other like hoes and
but the opposite.
and they're supposed to be best friends, right? Like this is a French group, and they're putting each other down.
Right.
And I'm thinking, man, the writer must hate women. But then the guys get it just as bad because they're just like sex objects. They're literally sex objects. So that was weird to see, right? Because I mean, I don't think this movie would fly nowadays. You know, with the woke movement nowadays, it just won't fly. So? I don't think, because they're fighting over like, oh, you slept with him and you're jealous because I'm sleeping with this guy.
That shit will never go away. You got soap operas, you've got these fucking dramas that people watch on their cell phones.
But all these women are airheads, Lance. They're all airheads. Remember?
Yeah, I guess.
They have this exchange where one of the girls is like, "You let him into your house? You barely met him," and then the other one's like, "Well, you didn't know Adam was an alcoholic when you met him." And
they kept fucking hassling.
Yeah, and then they told Denise Richards, "You barely know any man before you fuck him."
Oh, that's true. That's true.
And she's like, "Yeah, you right."
No, and the best line of this movie, the best line of this movie is when they're in the detective's office and they're going through that 2001 Windows 95 fucking Macintosh, you know, and they're going. He has a picture of Jeremy Milton, right? And they're going. He's doing a lot of different ways.
Yeah, how he could look now.
Yeah, I think one of the girls is like, "Do you have another picture?" And then the detective looks so fucking annoyed, and he looks at her and he's like, "You dumb bitch! Like, if I had one, I would be using it." You know?
I know. That was like the worst
he doesn't say
ever,
that.
Right?
He doesn't call her a dumb bitch, but he's thinking it. So all the women in this movie are all airheads. There's no like intelligent quality about any of them. They all get duped. The guys are just sex objects. They have no character development. One of them, I think it's implied that one of them is gay because he can't get his dick hard to fuck that one girl, and he's all ashamed of that. Remember that part, Lance?
Yeah, they were like about to get it on, and then the next scene, they're both laying in the bed like hum-de-dum-de-dum-de-dum.
And then the girl's like,
I thought it was because he finished too fast.
Either or. And then she's like, "No, it's okay," but you could tell she's really pissed, you know, because this whole movie's all about just sex.
Like, it's okay. It's okay. Where's my vibrator?
And then she just gets up, and then he's scheming. He's gonna rob some money from her. Anyways, there's a whole thing.
Right.
So that was weird. Now, one thing this movie
very weird.
Now, one thing people need to watch this movie if you haven't. It's a cult classic, so a lot of people already watched it. But the kills are fucking awesome in this movie. Like the setups. Like when they kill that one girl from Grey's Anatomy in the beginning. I love how she's in the morgue. What she's doing in the morgue, we don't really know. She just works there for some reason.
Well, no, she was training to be a doctor, right? So she had
to study in the middle of the night because that's how all morgue workers work.
Yeah. Yes. So what they did is they killed the one with the brains. They killed her first. Is essentially what happened. And so I love the part where how much brains could she have? She decides to hide in a fucking bag in those bags they put on. That's her biggest plan. Remember that? She's like,
the killer's like stabbing every fucking
that
body.
That whole scene kind of irritated me, to be honest. I was like, okay, first of all, she wouldn't have time to get in there.
I know. Right. Where did that happen?
And it's like, and then eventually he finds her, and it's like, it was weird because we're not used to seeing these kind of like dumb moves by these women anymore in today's filmmaking, right? It's more sophisticated. They're more intelligent. So he opens the bag, and she's just in there, and she's like, and then he just kills her. And I like how he just sips it back up too. Like, here's another throat. Yeah. My question is, what happened to the body that was in that bag to begin with? You know,
they didn't explain that, did they?
and then I like the scene where they kill that other girl. I think her name was Lily, where they kill her in the art gallery, where she's surrounded by all these screens. And then there's this one voice that's like, "Love me, love me, love me," like over and over.
The lips talking over and over and over again.
And then the killer, which is, I guess, is Cupid, right? Supposed to be Cupid with the mask.
Sure, with the bow and arrow.
Yeah, hits it with the bow and arrows in front of everybody. By the way, they don't even try to like make sense of how this guy's doing it.
I was gonna say this didn't show up on a police report or something. The next day they're just like, "Well, she never came home."
Yeah, yeah, because the detective's also kind of a dumb fuck himself. You know, he's just kind of there. Later on, they cut his head off, and so and then the third act.
He's trying to get with Denise Richards the whole time. You know.
That's right.
God,
that's another. That's another.
He's just like everybody, go ahead and go. Denise Richards, stay back.
You stay here.
Let's talk about what's going on between us. And she's like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" And he was like, "You know."
You know what? She doesn't 100% like reject them either.
Yeah.
Like, I know. She's leading him on. She's
like, "You're right. I'm a slut."
Yeah. She's like the one chick from Sex and the City, the horny one, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
The older one.
That's exactly who she is.
All right. Kim Cattrall.
They're all horny. Right. They're all horny though, because the reason why David Boreanaz or whatever his fucking name is,
Angel.
The reason why he's able to infiltrate their little inner circle is because all they want is dick, like all of them, and like, and they're all jealous of each other. That entire movie is them being jealous of each other as to how one is getting a particular dick and the other one isn't. That's literally the whole movie. Right.
That's a good point.
Wow.
I mean, where they have little arguments about it. So the third act is where it gets really wonky. Somehow the one of the girls ends up in the Cupid outfit and she gets killed.
Sure.
And it is in the cliffhanger where David Boreanaz is like nose is bleeding. Oh, because we didn't say.
Yeah. What's with the nose bleeding the whole time?
Well, because when he was a little kid and he was under stress, his nose would start to bleed.
Okay.
Yeah, and that first scene when they're punking him out, his nose starts to bleed. So that was the whole thing.
Yeah.
Here's another thing.
He obviously hit the gym after that, right? Or hit the steroids.
That's what they say. But I'll tell you another thing that cannot go unsaid in today's the era that we live in, the pussification era that we live in. This movie is also very fat phobic. It's very fat phobic.
Fat phobic.
Yeah, because there's the scene in the movie. Because remember, what's the name of the main girl? What's her name? I forget the character's name.
Pedro's killing me, dude.
But the one that was chubby, right? The
one
Dorothy.
Oh, from the beginning?
Yeah.
So wait, which one was that at the end? Was that the girl from
the rich one?
The rich one that was in Grey's Anatomy? She was like,
I'm the fat one. You're the smart one.
Yeah.
Yes, and she's like, I'm the fat one, and then she starts crying, and then I think Denise Richards or the other girl like, no, you're just big bone. You're just big bone. And it's like,
so she was a little chunky, huh? When she was in high school.
Girl, you just big boned. Don't worry about that.
So they have that entire scene, a very melodramatic scene where she breaks down because she's quote unquote the fat one of the group.
Okay.
And she's not even like what I would consider quote unquote fat, right? And so imagine a younger girl at that time watching that movie and they're like, what the fuck? I'm kind of chunky, and she's saying she's chunky, but she's not really chunky. What does that make me? You know, so this is a very weird movie.
It makes you a fucking whale.
It's so un-PC. This movie's very un-PC when it comes to a lot of this shit. But with all that said, it was I was never bored. It was okay, I guess.
Yeah, you didn't hate it, huh?
I didn't hate it. I mean, I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it.
Is that what fat phobic is? I don't think that's what fat phobic is.
No, fat phobic is when you're worried somebody's gonna fucking sit on you.
That the writers don't really like fat people.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. From the fat phobic activist perspective, I gotcha.
All right. So who's next? I'll give my rating after you guys do.
It's okay, Pedro. You're not fat. All right, Lance, what do you think?
I don't even know where to go from there. Pedro just like summed up the whole movie.
Really did. That was really good.
Honestly, that was like Rotten Tomatoes reviewing a 5-minute short. You know what I'm saying? Like something they never would have taken on. So I don't know what to say. I mean, I guess I kind of hard to say after that, man. Hard to follow up. It was corny as hell. Yeah, you got a lot of people that you've seen in other stuff. I kind of enjoyed the arrow scene, like right where they would shine the camera on the point of the arrow, and like you kind of like Pedro said, you get some pretty decent original kills in here. But yeah, it was really kind of stupid from start to finish. There wasn't a lot to love about this movie, besides the fact that there's some people that got big careers later. So, I don't have anything to say.
I won't say big careers.
Pedro said it all. What do you think, Brian?
I thought this was a fun little slasher movie. It's a classic tale of fuck around and find out. I mean, all the girls make fun of this kid. The boys come and stomp his ass out after they strip him naked. Of course, he grew up to be a serial killer.
No,
Yeah.
Sure.
And then they send them to reform school, and then they send them to a psych ward for who knows what reason. And then they never say this, but they imply that he set his parents on fire for whatever reason. So
See, all right, I've known a lot of crazy motherfuckers, and I'm cool with all of them for that reason.
Yeah. And somehow this kid grows up to be David Boreanaz.
Yeah.
Which I don't know what kind of technology they had in 2001 with the software, the facial recognition or whatever.
Right.
Because they just kept enlarging his forehead. He was like, does he look familiar now?
Yeah, it didn't look at all like him.
Like a caveman.
I had fun with the kills. It's been a while since I've seen this movie because I remember Katherine Heigl being in the movie a lot more than she was. It was basically Drew Barrymore, like they did in Scream. They killed her off immediately.
Was Katherine Heigl somebody before this movie came out?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
She was in one of the Child's Play movies, but I think that was after this.
Yeah,
because I forgot she was in
Bride of Chucky, maybe.
Yeah, and the kill that I remember the most was the Denise Richard one in the hot tub with the drill.
Yeah, of course. Well, that's got to be a major kill. She's the big name in the movie.
She is nice to look at, but she is hard to listen to.
Oy. Well, she was a scientist in a James Bond movie, remember?
Yeah, Dr. Christmas or something.
I thought Christmas only comes once a year.
That's it.
But I had a big problem with the finale when they took the mask off the killer and it was Dorothy, the quote unquote fat girl.
Yeah,
she had nothing covering her mouth. At no point could she speak out saying, "I'm not the killer."
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Well, I mean, remember there are airheads, and I think that was done on purpose, even though we're not.
Yeah.
You think so?
Well, Pedro pointed out that they killed the smart one immediately off, so they didn't have no one to figure out who the killer was.
They didn't have any brains.
And another name that I completely forgot was in this was Marley Shelton, Officer Judy from the Scream movies. Ends up being the final girl.
Okay. Well, there were actually two people from Grey's Anatomy in this movie, right? Because you had Heigl and then the other one. It was like Dr. Arizona something.
Yeah, that was the fat one. Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
My wife has started watching the Gossip Girl again.
Oh no!
And so
AJ
I am praying for Grey's Anatomy to come back.
Man. Gossip Girl is so fucking horrible, dude.
I hate that one.
XOXO, Gossip Girl.
I'm like, all right, let's Grey's Anatomy, put it on all day. I don't care.
Give me Grey's.
But other than the ending, I had a problem with. I thought this was a decent, fun little slasher, little holiday slasher. Because I don't. There's not too many Valentine themed or good ones, at least, slasher movies.
Yeah, I mean the other one is the two My Bloody Valentines. You know, the original and the remake. The remake is really good as well.
Yeah, the 3D one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pedro really made me rethink because I kind of enjoyed this movie for those stupid kills and stuff, Brian. Until Pedro reminded me of.
Lance. I don't want to.
No, Pedro, you reminded me how stupid that opening scene was with the body bags. It's like, how the fuck did she have time to hide in the body bag? And what the fuck they do with the body? It was in the fucking body
and
bag.
The
So
one
let's
was
keep an extra one on the table.
the
Just
one kill that was brought up, the one at the art gallery. It's a simple kill with the shooting the arrows, but it was done like super violently. The way she's getting hit with the arrows, and then she falls over the banister,
True. Falls
and then
through the
comedically
paper.
falls into the dumpster.
That's right.
Yeah, because they had to
because her art is trash.
They had
Yes.
to justify them saying that she went to LA and she never came back or whatever. She had to find
Yeah.
out.
That's what happens to everybody who goes to LA, right, Pedro?
That's what it seems like, yeah. I'm a native, so I could talk shit. I'm not
All right.
what they call transplants.
Bill, what'd you think?
Yeah, I thought it was a very timely holiday horror slasher movie. And that is the perfect description of this, because that is exactly what it is. But it was kind of fun to go back and watch some of those big characters, you know.
Mm-hmm.
The main chick to it, Denise Richards in particular, because she's always
Dr.
fun.
Christmas.
Dr. Christmas. Yeah, I didn't hate it as much as I thought I was going to when I started the movie.
Okay.
And so it was kind of a good little blast of nostalgia, because I was like, oh, I remember when this came out.
Sure.
Not a great movie, but I didn't hate it. So there's that.
not The Exorcist, is it?
No, no. This one's not winning
Jaws.
any awards or anything, but but for a fun holiday slasher movie that has some nostalgia packed in with some characters that you forgot about, you know. This is a fun one for that. In case you haven't watched it in 20 years.
Valentine.
Which most people probably haven't, let's be honest. All right, scores. Pedro, what'd you think?
This was such a it's also very simplistic, right? There's nothing to this movie. It's literally everything we talked about. You know, you introduce the victims, you introduce the slasher, and you just work your way through them. So
it went by fast. It went by fast, dude.
Yeah,
it felt like it was like an hour long, right?
It's a very harmless movie. It's got some good tropes. I'm gonna go 7 on 10 on this one.
Damn.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah. So that's where I'm at. And also I get a kick out of the fact that these movies cannot be made anymore because of the culture that we live in. You can't have these dunces running around getting killed one by one.
Yeah, you can if they're dudes.
That's true. So 7 on 10. 7 on 10.
All right, get in, get out. I like it. Brian, Lance, you were next. What do you think?
I'll give it a 5. It's like right in the middle.
You sound like you don't want to give it a 5.
Ultimate fit straddler. 5.
All right, Brian.
Like I said, this is a fun movie to watch. We didn't even talk about the dialogue. There's a scene where Denise Richards again, is taken up to a room at the party, and the guy pulls his pants down, and he's like,
"That's right."
I don't know if anybody even talks like this. He's like, "Wax it."
Wax it. He said, "Wax it,"
and then she pours the candle wax.
Well, and I love that she acted like she was so insulted that it happened. I'm like, bitch, you went up there. What did you think was gonna happen?
I know.
Wax it.
I think I agree with Pedro. I think this is a 7.
Damn, this is the next classic.
I mean, it is believe it that this film does have a fan base. I mean, it is.
Man, Art the Clown eat your heart out, huh?
It's not surprising. It's got a lot of crazy things that happen with some really big name actors and actresses before they were big.
And with that, with the cast and the music and some of the dialogue, it's a piece of that time period, the early
Yeah,
2000s.
Sure.
Oh, it is 100% dated. It is time stamped
Is it?
by a lot.
Timestamp.
A lot of that new metal, right? The new metal that was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But and kind of because of that, I think I'm gonna go 6.5 instead of a 7. But like,
Okay.
I liked this way more than I thought I was gonna
Than you
like
thought
this
you
when I
would.
turned it on.
I get
Yeah,
that.
like
I
I
get
turned
that.
this on and I was like, fucking another
I know. Gotta sit
stupid
through this.
horror holiday bullshit movie, and this
Yeah.
one was actually kind of a good time.
Yeah, a wonderful knife it wasn't, so that's good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Thank God. Right.
All right, we'll move on to our 2025 movie, Heart Eyes, which just seems like a terrible name, but whatever.
It really is kind of like hard on.
For the past several years, the Heart Eyes Killer has wreaked like you have to say it slowly, otherwise. Has wreaked havoc on Valentine's Day by stalking and murdering romantic couples. This Valentine's Day, no couple is safe. Director is Josh Rubin, also known for Werewolves Within and Scare Me. Writers are Philip Murphy, Christopher Landon, and Michael Kennedy. The two detectives investigating the Heart Eyes Killer murderers are named Hobbs and Shaw, a reference to Fast and Furious, which they make very obvious. The screenwriters confirmed that they had always been the case, or that had always been the case even before Jordana Brewster, who has played a large role in the series, was brought on as Detective Shaw. Was she in this movie?
Yeah, she was the detective.
Yeah, she was Detective Shaw.
Oh, that makes sense. All right, that didn't click.
But they're saying they decided even before they picked her. So
I was like, stupid
we'll
joke.
see.
Or so they say.
Or so they say, right?
All right, Pedro, what did you think about Heart Eyes?
I think another one that I really enjoyed. It wasn't perfect, and I was, I thought at times it was a little too silly for my taste, like as far as like the narrative.
Oh, they definitely went silly a couple times.
Yes, and it was, but I could see what they were doing. I could see that they're fans of the genre, so that's always nice because you could feel that in a movie when somebody's actually a fan and they're just trying to make a good movie because they're fans, rather than just seeing a studio picture. So I enjoyed that. We're not gonna get into spoilers yet, but there's a couple questions as far as characters, especially in the third act, where I think the third act really falls apart for a lot of reasons, which we'll get to in spoilers. But then also just the progression of things, because the Hard Eyes Killer, right? Which whatever, first of all, how do they know? Why would they call? I guess it does leave like a calling card, right? The killer does leave a calling card. That's how they call. Yeah, it is. It does. I remember now. It does leave a calling card. But just the fact that it seems to catch up to the people that we're following, like that's a big coincidence right there. You know what I'm saying? Because as Hard Eyes Killer starts off as this
that's
national.
a lot to swallow, right?
Yeah, because it starts off as this big national threat, right? Oh, the Hard Eyes Killer is, it's in Seattle and it's in another place. I forgot where. But
Yeah.
Philadelphia.
All the headlines flashing at the beginning.
Right. So it just and then we're following this character, our two main leads, and then it just so happens to latch onto them, which I whatever. And then later on, it gets more ridiculous because they just so happen. I don't know. We'll talk about it during. I can't say much with this movie without getting into spoilers.
Yeah, good point.
But all I know, it worked for me. Some of the jokes landed, some of them didn't. I like some of the kills. The van kill was awesome, which they ruined in the fucking trailer.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and I thought at times it was a really creepy movie, just because I thought that Hard Eyes was really good. I thought it was Kane Hodder underneath it for a while, just his movements or whatnot. So for now, before we go into spoilers, I'm gonna say that it worked for me, even though at times it got too silly. So I wouldn't call it a perfect movie, but it's a movie that I enjoyed watching. And I'm excited because they got a theatrical. These movies don't really get theatricals anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So I really enjoyed it.
All right, Lance, what do you think?
I really had fun with this. I went into this movie thinking I was going to absolutely hate it because I thought The Mask was fucking stupid. Right?
Yeah.
Like I saw the trailers and I saw the like eyes with the lights and stuff. I'm like, this is ridiculous. But what I loved about this movie was the way because all right, guys, I watch a lot of rom-coms. I'm a
Yes,
married
you do.
man.
That's right. I
I
forgot about that.
I have to give equal time to the wife. Look, I watch 31 fucking Christmas movies every fucking Christmas, and half of them are Hallmark shit, okay? So, and you guys know me. I like musicals, right? I'm straight, but I like musicals, okay? I don't like over-the-top musicals like Joker
like how
fucking
you
2.
threw that in there.
All right. I really love the way that this movie paid homage to rom-coms. I thought it was clever. I thought it was original, and I've never really seen it before. I've never seen a horror movie like this. Like you guys said, there aren't that many Valentine's movies, and the ones we do get are normally like like the killer in the mine shaft that's like killing people brutally and stuff like that. But this to me was extremely original. It played great homage to rom-coms. It had all those beats. It even had an airport scene. Not to spoil it, but goddamn it, every fucking rom-com has an airport scene.
It didn't have the let's just say big bone roommate though. That
no
was
big bone. Yeah, no big bone roommate. But for crying out loud, I had a lot of fun with this movie, and I thought I was gonna hate it. So I'm going to tell you right now, I enjoyed this more than I thought I was going to. And that's all I'll say.
I'm kind of, I think we're going to have a very high rating.
All right.
Night Swim 2025, maybe, huh?
Brian, what do you think?
Again, I had a lot of fun with this. This is a good holiday horror rom-com. I thought the cast was super likable. When I saw the trailer, I didn't know what to think of The Mask, but it kind of grew on me. And then the light up eyes, they kind of explained why they light up in the movie. I thought the kills were super fun. You guys know I'm all about the Sawanassance. We got Devon Sawa in there as the other detective.
I didn't even know he was going to be in it until I saw him.
I remember hearing about it, but I think it just him and Jordana Brewster just kind of went out my mind. And then when they popped up on screen, I was like, oh yeah, they're in this movie.
A big bonus.
Neither one of those people even clicked in my mind that I was like, oh, I know those. I was like, all right.
I completely enjoyed the opening sequence.
Good.
I thought it was super fun. At times it made me laugh. I agree with Pedro. At times some of the jokes didn't hit with me. But, sometimes comedies are like that. Not all the jokes are just going to hit with you.
Right.
Sure.
I thought the movie should have ended at a certain time. I kind of wasn't completely on board with the ending. And you guys know what I mean when I say the movie should have ended at a certain point. And they kind of went on from there. And
Sure.
Drag it out a little bit.
Yeah. Trying to avoid spoilers, but yeah, super fun movie. Kills were fun. I wish the van one wasn't in the trailer because that was probably one of the most violent ones. But yeah, a lot of fun.
That was a horny couple in the van, wasn't it?
Hey,
we have an audience. Let's do it even more.
Hey, they were already doing it, so
I know they were
like, oh, you guys are role playing. Cool. We're going to keep on going.
That was hilarious, man.
Not, hey, get the fuck out of my car.
One of the things that I really liked, one of the things that I really liked about that scene is that usually in movies like these, you see the killer hyper focused on the victims, right? Right here, without spoilers, this killer didn't give a fuck. They were taking everyone out, and
that's true. That's true.
They gave him a distraction.
Even like going all the way back to Jason Takes Manhattan, right? Jason's walking through Manhattan, but he's only focused on the person he's going after. He doesn't even fuck up those gangbangers that are listening to their boom box and shit. He just kicks the boom box and keeps on walking. So
doesn't even break dance.
Yeah, so I know I like that part. In this film, they kind of changed that a little bit, which I appreciated.
Yeah, original.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a lot more fun with this movie than I thought I was going to. Like the comedy was actually not bad. Like it was kind of a rom-com, and
better
they
than
had
Cocaine
some.
Bear, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Sure.
Well,
yeah.
and they had some, really firmly inserted jokes there that were meant to be funny, and and they actually, most of them worked out pretty well. So can't complain too much. I like the chemistry of the main characters. I was a little concerned. Just going into the movie, I was concerned about the killer of the hard eyes thing, and I was like, all right, whatever, another Scream ripoff or whatever. Yeah, no, I thought I was gonna be terrible, and it outperformed what I expected, and so I'll give it props on that. I had a pretty good time with it.
Better than In a Violent Nature. I'll tell you that right now.
Stop it, Brian. Stop it.
I would not stop.
Oh fuck!
In a Violent Nature was like watching someone play the Friday the 13th video game that should have been.
I know, but I love
Heart Eyes was all about business.
Yeah.
What's his name in a Violent Nature was all about walking through the woods.
You know what? I'm gonna make an announcement right now. Even though both of these films, and this is just me because I'm gonna have to scroungel up these guys. I can't find enough of them. Both of these guys are in the tournament. Johnny, whatever the fuck his name is, from A Violent Nature, is in the tournament, and so is Hard Eye. So there you go, folks.
No,
all right.
You said they have to have a sequel.
Well, yeah, he's getting a sequel, and I'm gonna say they're gonna try to franchise Hard Eyes.
Yes, so they're already
Oh, for sure.
I hope they don't. But
I
bet they will.
These guys are all gonna have sequels.
All right.
This would be fun as a standalone movie. I mean, like that 2001 Valentine's movie was actually kind of fun when I went back and watched it. I don't remember it being fun, but it was. And this one was a lot more fun than I expected. So
kind of like getting spanked, huh?
What?
I thought that was gonna be awful. It was awesome.
So much so that you forgot that Jordana Brewster was in there the whole time.
I know. Well, I didn't click that that's who that was.
I knew Devin Sawa looked familiar.
Philip, I'm gonna have to.
That was mean. I'm sorry.
Philip, I'm gonna have to let AJ let Rose borrow the whip that she spanks people with.
Great.
Hey. Okay.
All right. No, but I liked it. I liked it better than I thought I was going to. Pedro, you want to go scores?
I'm gonna go 7.5 on 10. I really
Damn. All
okay.
right.
I really like this movie.
Good one. Lance, what do you think?
7 on 10.
Nice.
I really enjoyed it.
Brian?
7.75. Not quite an 8.
Wow. Okay.
I would totally rewatch this again.
Nice. I'm sure we will.
I would too. Like the comedy hit way better than I expected it to. I'm gonna go 7. I think it was a really solid movie. Like it belongs in better company than
Valentine?
holiday horror movies.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah. My Bloody Valentine.
Yeah. All right. Spoilers.
Let me jump in real quick. I like the ongoing gag of that they're not a couple.
Yeah.
He only kills couples, but every time he shows up, they're doing couple-like things.
Yeah, that's true.
And I thought Olivia Holt and Mason Gooding, I thought their chemistry worked really well because they were really believable as a couple, not couple.
Yeah, I loved it. He was like, what are you talking about? I just met her. And he's obviously in love with her. That's great.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, I guess they did try to explain how the killer, or we should say killers, as we find out later on. The reason why they zeroed in on that couple is because they were actually going after the other couple, right, which was her ex and the girlfriend or whatever.
Yeah.
So they were originally going after them, and then they found this couple who had to kiss because she made what's his name kiss her because she was jealous of her ex being there in front of them, and that started the whole thing going. I guess the only thing that bothers me is just how much of a coincidence it was that Hard Eyes was right there, to see all that.
Yeah. A lot. You have to suspend disbelief, right?
Well, yeah, that's cool. I mean, that's cool.
It is a movie. It is a movie, Pedro.
It's nitpicky for sure. I thought the third act was weird because, like you guys said, I mean, once they kill the guy at the drive-in,
right?
Like all of a sudden, it's almost like they were running out of time and they just needed to find the actual killers. So just two people. One guy who was the IT guy, we didn't even we only saw him in one scene before this, and then obviously Jordana Brewster later on. Now,
as soon as he showed up in that scene, I was like, that's the guy.
I like the reveal of the first guy they killed when they took his mask off. They were like, "Who the fuck is this guy?"
Yeah. It was also very wink as well. Like it was talking to the real fans, and trying to put the clues together and stuff. Yeah. So whenever they show the first guy, it was like this is kind of a letdown, and they told us that through their characters,
and that's part of the beauty of the movie, right?
No, yeah, that's cool, yeah, for sure. But I did think it was a little lazy how they explained that guy later on. He was just like a fan or something, like somebody that looked up to them, and he decided to throw on the mask. Even though that guy was pretty fucking brutal, in the driving, killing everyone that gets in his way.
Very Scream-esque, right? Would you agree, Pedro?
Yeah,
very Scream.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they definitely pulled from some Scream stuff.
So that's the reason why this Hard Eyes killer could keep on going, because it's actually like it's a statement, right? It's not actually just one place.
Yeah, so Hard Eyes 2 could very well be another killer, and then another in part 3, and another in part 4, right?
Well, I'm glad they didn't do that.
Well, they might.
Well, they haven't done
yet.
They haven't. This movie just came out last week, so
I guess that's true.
But I did thought it was a little too coincidental that Jordana Brewster happened to work and be a cop, and they get to do all that to the couple. Like, come on, and she's a killer too. That was a little too. That's why it doesn't get like a higher score, because there was things I did have problems with it, even though it is a comedy and we're supposed to be more light on it. It's still there was things that are come on, just a little put a little more thought into the script,
Like, how did she get through her psych eval?
Exactly.
She did have a good decapitation scene, though.
Yeah, that was cool. And then the guy, he got all kinds of like candle wax on him, you know. But what kind of that was some very lethal candle wax.
Yeah, no shit. It was like tearing his skin off and shit.
I thought it was
like Valentine.
Was it like did they go to that place from that RoboCop scene, where they run over that one guy that's melting? It's the same thing. But
I'm sure candle wax sucks, but I don't think it does that.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Doesn't suck for everybody, right, Lance?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But I really enjoyed the first scene, and it really set the tempo with the photographer guy and all that stuff. I thought that was pretty funny. And yeah, like the middle part is all rom-com. They even have a coffee shop scene, which all these fucking movies have. Where they go for the same coffee, and then all of a sudden the sparks fly. Yeah, it would have been nicer if they would have had either like a know-it-all like teenager, which a lot of these rom-coms have, or the heavy-set roommate. And the heavy-set roommate could be a girl or a guy.
Or the gay roommate, right?
Or the gay roommate. That's right.
What did y'all think about that scene where they were quoting all the rom-com movies? Did you catch that? Where they were quoting all the different titles of rom-com movies.
I missed that one.
Yeah, I thought it was clever. I really did. I thought this was a clever movie. It was more than I expected, for sure.
We didn't talk about the
right now. We'll put you on the spot. You've even though you say you're a straight man, you've watched thousands of these. What is your favorite? Give me your favorite rom-com of all time. One that
Oh no. Oh no.
Look, Pedro, let's make it harder. Let's letterbox
That's
him.
tough.
50
Top 4
First Dates.
rom-coms right now.
What's
I
that?
love 50 First Dates. It's one of my favorite movies.
Okay.
I got one. You want me to go first, Lance? I got one.
Yeah, please do.
As good as it gets. That's a great movie.
Which one?
What's that?
As good as it gets.
Oh, that's a good
That's a good one. That's a good one. I think my favorite one is one that that we had one of our Patreon patrons make us watch for the movie. If you guys recall, it was my wife that actually made us watch this one, Brian.
Might need a spreadsheet on this one.
It's called P.S. I Love You. And
with Gerard Butler.
Yeah, and the reason it's so special to me is because our son-in-law died of brain cancer about 10 years ago, and that's the main point of the movie is he leaves her notes and tells her to go to Ireland where he came from to meet up with people and visit certain sites and stuff like that. So that one's very special to me, very close to my heart.
Yeah.
So it would be P.S. I Love You, my favorite rom-com, man.
Good, man.
Yeah.
So that's Brian. I don't think you have a favorite rom-com, right? I think we all said ours, but you haven't.
I'll go something simple. I'll do Sleepless in Seattle.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Classic.
Which I do get confused with You've Got Mail.
Oh yeah.
I get those confused a lot.
It's the same actors, right?
Yeah, because I feel like Tom Hanks was kind of like one of the first, right? He really brought that genre into what it became,
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah, he was
Yeah,
up there
like
for a while.
early 90s, late 80s, whatever, right?
Yeah. Then Gerard Butler took over. Matthew McConaughey took over.
Oh yeah, McConaughey got his spotlight.
Failure to Launch, another great one.
Yeah.
That's a good Terry Bradshaw, dude. He was fucking hilarious. I want you out of here so I have my naked room. That was fucking hilarious, man. And I can relate.
So I do like how the middle portion of this film really center on the rom-com aspect of it, and,
Yeah.
and just getting to know the couple or the quasi couple. And then they it's like any rom-com. They had to go through all this ordeal, and except you throw like a serial killer in the mix, and then at the end they end up they find out that they are made for each other, and it has that happy ending.
It's got the happy ending, the rom-com ending, and I thought there was going to be a second ending, right? Like it's not so happy after all. The killer pops up again, but he didn't, and that was okay. That was okay in this one, right? Because normally as horror fans, we love that. Well, we love the movie The Mist better than the book The Mist because of that dark ending, but we didn't get it.
Well, they trick you with the roommate acting like the killer.
Yes.
That's
so
right.
They even fucked you even more. It was cool, man. This is a fun movie.
And we didn't bring up the kill in the beginning with the grape press or wine press or whatever.
That was kind of awesome. Like, I don't know what kind of machine that was, but it seems dangerous.
Right.
Yeah.
It should not exist.
Yeah, it's got like a weird timer on it where you put it on the wine bottle and then it has like a countdown, like bing, 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 and then it just pops it open.
Yeah,
that was pretty cool.
Why are you able to climb in there?
Yeah.
I went on Amazon and looked for one. I couldn't find one. I was like, I need one of these things, man.
Well, there's your answer. It doesn't really exist. All right.
But then later on they pay it off because they put it in somebody's head. So
yeah. All right. Is that enough about this movie, guys?
Yeah. I mean, I really enjoyed it. People need to go watch it.
Yeah.
All right. We had fun. So Pedro, thanks for joining us, dude.
Yeah, I'll keep you guys updated on the tournament, and we'll book it sometime in March. It's gonna be a fun time. Hard Ice is in the tournament officially. So much like we do with the Royal Rumble, right? Right, Brian, with the we're gonna be releasing all these names in increments. We gotta create the hype for this tournament. So Hard Ice has officially declared as the first mofo in this tournament.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
Yeah,
'Cause-
and Jacob or Johnny or whatever
And
the fuck
Johnny
his
as
name.
well.
Yeah,
That's right. Johnny Goodnight or whatever the fuck his name
Johnny,
is.
what's his face?
Yeah. Because I
All
think
right,
I'm
so-
going to point in Kane, because Kane has a sequel. He has what is it? See No Evil 1 and See No Evil 2.
Yes,
Oh, that's
he
right.
can be
That's
in
right.
there.
The problem is when you have more than one person as the killer. I don't know how much that counts.
Well,
It's
Ghostface
It's
is
just
an
a killer,
icon,
man. It's
right?
just a killer.
Well, I know, but I see Ghostface as another problem for me.
Okay. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out. But in the meantime, we want to thank you guys for listening to another episode of The Horror Returns. You know where to find us, www.thehorrorreturns.com, or email us at thehorrorreturns@gmail.com. Next week, Brian, how in the fuck do we have another fucking werewolf week?
Well, you can ask our guest Steve Carlton.
Oh
That
my
question.
God. Yet again,
All
What
right,
is it?
more
What is it?
werewolves.
Where are the werewolves?
it is going to be The Howling and The Howling 2.
Okay. They're
All
not
right.
bad. Those movies are not bad. You guys will have a
No,
good time.
not bad at all. I love the hamburger cooking scene at the end of The Howling. You know, that was like iconic for me. But
I don't know that I've ever
Nope.
seen them.
nice.
Yeah.
All right.
Should be fun.
All right, Philip. Until the horror returns again.
Good night.